Today, I wanted to discuss battering rams. They are one of my favorite things that Funcom actually implemented into the game. And I figured today we would put them to the test and see if it's worth it to craft them or if it's better to just kind of farm them from chests and whatnot. I figured I would include this footage in case you're doing your purges wrong. There's no reason to stress out over a purge. Just go set a base up in the lava, and the only thing you have to worry about is making sure that the path to your base, where you have your treasure chest, the NPCs are going to walk through the lava. The lava is going to do the damage and take care of them and make it very easy for you. The only other thing you might have to worry about doing high-end purges is sorcerers. If a sorcerer spawns, it's going to spawn on a transitory stone. It's going to summon star metal, and it's going to keep spawning it on your base. It's a great way to get star metal, but it will damage your structures. So you are going to have to take out that sorcerer. You can easily just kick them into the lava. It's that easy. I also wanted to showcase that if you're building up in the volcano where the purge spawns, you usually can build in these areas. So if you need to make, a little pathway to get from point A to point B, maybe you don't have double jump, maybe the terrain is harder to navigate in that area, feel free to keep some build mats on you and just place down some foundations or whatever you need to get around so you can get the loot. Now, if you see in here, we saw the advanced components for warfare. That's what we're looking for. You also get the battering ram recipe from doing the purges, and it spawns. You're going to see it like every other time or sometimes back to back. You're not going to have an issue getting it. And the components you're going to get from higher level purges all the time. I'd usually just stock them up, fill up a couple boxes, and then I craft them because, as you can see, to craft them is extremely cheap. It's just going to take that component, 22 wood and 11 steel. You are going to have to use the improvised blacksmith bench. For some reason, when Funcom implemented all those changes, so you can only use one blacksmith bench. You didn't have to constantly use two different ones. I guess they didn't get the memo on the new item they added to the game. So if you're trying to use an upgraded blacksmith bench, it's not going to work. The recipe's not going to be in there. You're going to have to use an improvised one to craft it. But in this video, we are going to use all three different blacksmiths to craft one battering ram apiece. We are going to test the damage of all three, and we are also going to test the damage, of course, of a normal one. But the point of this is to kind of show, is it really worth it? If you got the components and you're farming the purges, I think it's well worth it because you can repair these. And I think that is the most amazing thing. You can repair them with a grindstone, but I would advise against using the grindstone just because it's going to take a durability hit. Whereas if you actually repair them in the improved blacksmith bench, it's going to repair them to full durability, and you're not going to take a negative hit on the dura. The benefit to it. So if you're one of those people that, like to repair stuff and reuse stuff, just don't completely use the battering ram's durability and you can easily repair it. It's as simple as that. Now for a build, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. I just was kind of having fun and messing around. I wanted to make sure I had full strength. The kit that I'm wearing is, of course, extremely cheap and easy to acquire. I have an Executioner's Hood, not hard to farm. Silent Legion Pauldron, not hard to get. And then Perfected Light Padding, you can just do by doing, a journey quest. Very simple, very cheap stuff. And I wanted to keep it relatively cheap, instead of having advanced armors that maybe we might not all have the ability to access or get access to. But you can still do this naked. The damage was still there. It'll just be reduced a bit. Of course, I do have strength buffs on, and in a moment, you're going to see a picture that will lay out where all the battering rams that are hitting and which one's which, so you don't get confused. What I thought was funny about this, of course, we know the Bladesmith is probably going to do the most damage, but I honestly thought the Tempersmith with the added durability was going to make it last longer, making it more beneficial in the long run. But I don't think that's the case, honestly. And in the next footage, you're going to see I sped it up. But if you wanted to count it yourself, you just have to add one to the current rams that are hitting the door. But I do put that on screen for you. So as you can see, the Tempersmith, it took 9. Now, of course, the Bladesmith is only going to take 8. We kind of already figured that out. But as you can even right now, just from looking at my hotbar, you can see the durability. The durability between the first two are so similar. And it kind of blew my mind because I honestly thought the durability was going to be I don't know. I thought it was going to be more beneficial. Like, wow, give me that extra dura so then I can use it even more. But as you can see, there's more durability at the same. I don't know. It's weird. I also wanted to include that if you're doing the purges, you will interact with this guy, the Cell Sword. And once you do open a cage and you see him, you interact with him, you can then bring him to your bar by enlisting him through your bartender. Just thought I'd throw that out there in case you didn't know that. And last but not least, if you're not doing purges for thralls, you're really missing out. This is how I get most of my thralls. This is how I get most of my fighter thralls, even though they're trash these days. They're still useful in some situations. But this is how I get a lot of my crafter thralls, because the game literally just throws them at you. And setting your purge up in the volcano just makes it easy peasy. But that's it for this one. I hope you do enjoy. If you do like the video, thumbs it up, leave some comments if you have some other things you might want me to look into. I just thought this was an interesting topic, and it's something that I actually really like. I love the battering ram, and I thought, we could talk about it, and I would do a little bit of testing and let you guys know my opinions and my thoughts. Do I think it's worth it to craft them? Yeah, if you got the components, they're really cheap, and you can repair them to full. Pretty awesome. So let me know if any of this information helped you out or not, and I'll see you guys in the next one.